With great power comes great responsibility. With great responsibility comes great obligation. With great obligation comes great sacrifice, mostly with respect to time spent hanging with your best buds. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you can invite your equally powerful buds to spend all that obligated time with you so all the responsibility gets spread around in equal shares, then the sacrifice is practically non-existent. It's not work if you're having fun, right? Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends featured a version of Peter Parker who expectedly still lives at home with his Aunt May and her dog, Ms. Lion. Unexpectedly, his friends Angelica Jones and Bobby Drake also live there, while all three attend Empire State University, aka Eastern State University. Somehow, unbeknownst to Aunt May, but beknownst to Ms. Lion, an entire room of her house changes into a secret Spider-Friends lab with the pull of a lever. This is some Adam West 66 Batman technology right here, and not for nothing, but there is no way this kind of renovation happens without Aunt May knowing about it. Pete's friend Angelica Jones is actually Firestar, a mutant with fire powers including making fire, shooting fire, and flying through the air propelled by fire. Bobby Drake is actually Iceman with powers of making ice, shooting ice, covering himself in ice, and sliding around the city on slides made out of ice. It's a 1-2 punch of fire and ice, a natural complement to Spider-Man's spider-themed powers, as everyone knows how much spiders love both fire and ice.
You want some of this?
They're killing everyone.
We have to get more soldiers up here now.
Together, Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman fight against the villain of the week, learning about teamwork and the challenges of balancing the obligations of being a superhero with their homework while taking time for themselves. Same thing we're all looking for, just take out superhero work and put in action figure photography or making internet videos. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was produced by Marvel Productions and ran for 24 episodes, technically spanning 3 seasons from 1981 through 1983. Season 1 consisted of 13 episodes, Season 2 added 3 new installments, Season 3 kicked in the final 8. It aired alongside Marvel Productions' other Spider-Man cartoon called simply Spider-Man. See, in 1981, the newly created Marvel Productions, after nearly a decade without any new animated Spider-Man, set out to put him back in the Saturday morning spotlight big time. Both shows focused on the web-slinger and his adventures against the various threats of the Marvel Universe. Both debuted on the same day with a similar tone, visual style, and musical cues, and while it would be totally understandable to think that the two shows were from the same continuity and somehow connected, the productions were technically separate and never really acknowledged the existence of each other. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends introduced several new characters to the Marvel Universe. The most important was Firestar, who became a necessary creation when the original character Marvel intended to use, the Fantastic Four's Human Torch, was tied up in licensing limbo for a solo television pilot that never materialized. But Firestar fulfilled the fire and ice theme Marvel was seeking and was popular enough that she was incorporated into the Marvel Comics continuity proper in 1985. She got her own miniseries in 1986. She would go on to become a member of the New Warriors, an Avenger, and an X-Man. Spider-Man was voiced by Dan Gilvezan, who has racked up nearly as many cartoon credits as Peter Optimus Prime Cullen and Frank Megatron Welker. Spider-Man, Cooler from the Pound Puppies, Bumblebee on Transformers, Slipstream and Beachhead on G.I. Joe, Prince Dargon on Sectars, Questar on Dino Riders, Colossus on Pride of the X-Men, Centurions, the Jetsons, Spiral Zone, Gem, a pup named Scooby-Doo, Ring Raiders, Shadow Strikers, Defenders of the Earth, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rugrats, and more, not to mention regular type acting where you can see his face and arms. Firestar was played by Kathy Garver, whose acting career goes back to the 1950s and includes roles in shows like the original Ghostbusters live-action TV show from the 70s, Super Friends, Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, Simon and Simon, Matlock, and Nash Bridges. Am I just naming all the shows in this segment? I feel like that's what this is. Iceman was voiced by Frank Welker. Season 2 included a significant addition to the cast. Stan Lee took on the role of narrator, a sort of tour guide for us, the viewers, drawing us into the story, a manifestation of the dialogue he'd been writing to open comic book stories for decades.
Watch closely. Don't turn away. Don't even blink. The sandcastle is changing, is transforming into the one human being on Earth who alone has the power to change the fantastic molecules of his body.
It helped to solidify his voice and the character of Stan Lee with the Marvel brand on television, and he did such a great job that he recorded segments that would be retroactively added to previously aired episodes from Season 1 to keep everything consistent for future syndication. In theory. Writers for the show included industry veterans Michael Reeves and Donald F. Glutt, Dennis Marks with a KS, and Christy Marks with an RX. Do not confuse the two. I'm not going to list all the shows that these writers worked on, but trust me, if I did, there would be pictures all over the screen right now. Pictures of G.I. Joe, Gem, Ninja Turtles, Dino Riders, a pup named... As much as the 80s were about cartoons to sell toys and toys to sell cartoons, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends missed out on that whole phenomenon. It was a cartoon created to sell ad time and promote the general visibility of Spider-Man in the world of Marvel Comics, entertain kids on TV, and bring them over to the books.
All right, everybody out. Who got the 3D theater meal? I bought it. Good choice. Along with your Hardee's burger, fries, and drink, you get a 3D adventure show starring one of us. I think you know everybody here? Sure. We'll each be starring in our own 3D adventure. Be sure you collect all 6 at Hardee's.
I will.
Okay, ready, boys? Put in the action strip. Look through the viewer. It's showtime.
Uncle Butter, can I look?
Just a second. 3D theater meals at Hardee's.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends ran from 1981 to 1983. Spider-Man had been a big part of Mego's World's Greatest Superheroes line of figures, so he would have had a presence in the toy aisle up until Mego's declaration of bankruptcy in 1982. Both Spider-Man and Iceman would get figures as part of Mattel's Secret Wars line in 1984 and 1985, although Iceman would only see release internationally and only after the line was already declared dead in the United States. Firestar would get her own figure in 1997 as a Toy Fair magazine mail-order exclusive, well after both Spider-Man and Iceman had already been featured in that line. In 2009, the whole gang would finally come together in a Toys R Us exclusive 3-pack as part of the Marvel Universe line of 4-inch action figures. And Mary Jane won the Fans' Choice selection and included a Ms. Lion figure as an accessory that same year. Merchandise was otherwise rare, and despite the characters featured in the cartoon being prominent ambassadors for Marvel Comics, there was exactly one single issue produced that was connected to the show. In 1981, a comic book adaptation of the first episode, The Triumph of the Green Goblin, was released. It is not part of the mainstream Marvel continuity, and to this date, it is the only full issue to take place in that alternate dimensional Earth. That said, the mainstream Marvel Universe obviously includes all 3 characters and would, on occasion, find excuses to have them team up and/or otherwise wink at their previous but non-canon affiliation. And then in 2014, during the Spider-Verse crossover, all 3 Spider-Friends were killed by Morlun as he dimension-hopped, murdering Spider-People from all over the multiverse. Technically, a version of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends were killed in a separate but nearly identical dimension to the one depicted in the cartoon, but still, shocking.
Shocking.
Do we need a better cut of shocking?
No, absolutely not.
Shocking. After the original airing from 1981 to 1983, the show was rerun from time to time, most importantly as part of the Marvel Action Universe from 1988 to 1991. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and the regular Spider-Man cartoon were rolled in with an episode of Dino Riders, an episode of RoboCop, and, every once in a while, Pride of the X-Men, the pilot episode for an X-Men cartoon that never made it to series. All 24 episodes of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends are currently available for purchase a la carte or a la season on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube, including episode 13, which, in the past, was left out of syndication packages sold to networks due to the focus on Nazis, Hitler, and the Red Skull's attempt to start World War III. Most recently, footage from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was recut and redubbed into Marvel mashup shorts. The shorts are quick hit segments used during breaks on various Disney XD cartoons and, for the most part, are now on the Marvel HQ YouTube channel. They are subjectively funny. For instance, if I were going to comment on them on YouTube, I would write, "Do these videos actually think they're funny?" Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was an integral part of the growth of the Marvel Universe and its expansion beyond printed comics. It helped reinforce Spider-Man's status as a pop culture icon and was the first exposure for many fans to characters like Firestar, Iceman, the X-Men, and helped bring readers to the books looking for more action and adventure. In 2009, video game news and pop culture website IGN named Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends the 59th best animated series of all time, just ahead of Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers and right behind He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Good news, audio was on the whole time. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you are not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those of you who already are. If you're in the position to help the channel grow, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy. Share this video and let us know in the comments down below if your friends are amazing or just super. My friends are pretty cool, I guess. Some of them. Amazing might be a bit of a stretch. If I had to label it, I would put them right behind Masters of the Universe, but ahead of Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I guess.
My friends are terrible.
I guess.
Cut.